Again. Hi guys. Time to make another ALCI. SourceForge ALCI. What is that? With all the knowledge I've already shared, you can install any Linux with Calamares. This is ArcoLinux Calamares installer. And I've made ISOs, well, more than a month or so ago. So 1020 is the last upload, and there's a new guy that I've created, the Xenmod, because the Edge does not exist anymore. So, new updates of these ISOs. Now there's also another thing in my mind. On the website ALCI, let's see if there is a link. Did I put somewhere a link? ALCI files. So there is a website, of course. Voila. It goes immediately to the ALCI.online, the Rising menu. So this is what you could get as a result. And what I would like to change, since I'm now venturing my way in the Wayland world, Hyperlint and Sway and others like River, you can also have Plasma on Wayland. Now, in order for me to do that, and Plasma is this guy. So the ISO hardened is the one for Plasma. I need to add one particular package, and then it's also ready for Wayland. So that's the change, and then I can test something out. I would like to play around with Wayland. Okay, if you want to build all these things, you go to the GitHub, get the building code from GitHub, can't make it any bigger, and here are all the repos. Now, in order to download them all in one time, you better download just the one. And in here is get all ALCI gits. So if you download that one, run that one, you get all repos that you need on your machine. Of course, I have already all those ALCI folders. All these are all GitHubs, right? These are all GitHubs from here to here, and then some scripts to push, to pull, and so on. Now, I think I better do ALCI ISO hardened. Go to here, go to the packages, Ctrl-Alt-G, still open, cool. So ArcoLinux Plasma Wayland. Plasma Wayland session. That's the one I need. If I went a little bit further, then I would read it somewhere else. Plasma Wayland session package. That's what I need. Ctrl-C. Don't make typos. And then all the way down, next to Plasma, I'm gonna put Plasma Wayland session. That's it. If the package is from ArcoLinux or your own repo, then it will work. Only then. It's not. It has to be pre-built. You can't put a package built in there. You need to have a package in there. Plasma Wayland session. I think that should do the trick. We'll see. And then we build it. We go to installation scripts, number 40, and we run number 40. I've already updated this machine. So I work with a bay, and the bay can contain Windows, Linux, and SSD. ArcoLinux.com. The first pages are containing the most interesting stuff. How to burn to USB, or whatever you want to know about Calamares, so our installer. What is Cal all about? We use the word a lot. Archroot, you can always fix a computer with Archroot. Btrfs backups, that's down here. But get a bay. Here's the image. This is a picture of my machine. You just pop out with a little slot. SSD pops out with some movement, right? And you press it back in, push it back in, and you switch what's on here So whatever you want, a Linux, a Windows 10, 11, right? Put anything on there, but switch, don't dual boot, triple boot, and all that stuff. It's only frustration, and you'll get stuck at some point in time, for sure. So this is of course for the desktop. That's easy, and might exist as well for laptops. That's a search, worth a search. So, popped in my SSD, updated everything. It's not that I'm using this SSD so much. So last time I'm rolling since October 2022. That was the last clean install. And then today is December the 8th, and before that November 25, 2017, November 7, and so on. So last minus F, just a quick tip. He's done. He's making the ISO already. Do we have a Super F7? We do. Hardened. Okay, I'm ready. Now we have the out ISOs, and here are all the old stuff. So let's delete the old stuff. Hardened. This is one from 1020, so some time ago. And Xenmod Edge is no more, it's just Xenmod. And there you go. Now, while we wait, maybe we should talk about the project as such. So on the website, that's here, yeah, on the website, we try to stay in this project as close as possible to Arch. So there's no rising, almost no rising, no, yeah, a little bit, but not much, right? Really not much. Just check out the package file, right? Just check out the package file. What do we put on the, let's take the hardened as example. What do we put on the hardened? Well, easier is maybe Super Shift D, Sublime Text, boom, and machine still remembers what I was doing. So these are the things we put on Plasma. Well, that's a bit too big. So yeah, a few applications to have a drop-down terminal, to have a terminal, to have a file manager, and this is the new thing I would like to test. Spectral was pictures, image of pictures, and package kit Qt5 is needed for Discover, which is somewhere in this group. And all the rest is Linux hardened headers. Don't do any of these things. And all the things that are not colored are simply not installed. All colors are installed, so NeoFetch is there as well. And all the rest is Arch ISO. Well, we do want to have internet, so Network Manager is here, and Xorg to have something graphical, otherwise we're stuck into something black, which is nice, but not always. So just 124 apps from Arch. That is a good question. I have already a question in my head. You probably didn't hear it, but if we update our system, we have also a new Arch ISO. So if we go to the computer, file system, user, share, Arch ISO, you type Arch ISO, and we have here the configs, the lang. This is what we use to build it. So this package is x86-64, Control C, desktop, Control V, and this is Arch. All right, this is straight coming from Arch Linux. Control X. Then we go to the ALCI. There you are. Hardened, and we have the here. Yes, Control V. And now we compare. Did they change anything? Was my question in my brain. Did I change anything? So we've chosen to have the DKMS because it's easier for people with Nvidia, so it will be built in. This is out, but I deleted it already, so that's now alt also out. Yeah, of course we don't want Linux, we want Linux hardened, so that's our choice. So yeah, okay, I don't need to check it, it's already okay. The only thing was this Control Z, these two guys, which are not used, right? Hashtag, they're not used. So now all's good, I don't need to change anything. The build is fine. Is the build built? Is the build built? Can we still talk? Yes, we can still talk. So the ArcoLinux Calamares installer, put Calamares on the ArcoLinux ISO and keep as close as possible to the original ArcoLinux. But we don't want to type all these things because yeah, it's daunting. Eh? If you go and have a look, ArcoLinux and then wiki, there is this page that says how to install Arch installation guide. If you start reading, then you say, oh my god. And there's a lot of info in there, but so the information is here, but you have to sift through all these things, and yeah, they expect you to have some knowledge. And if you come straight from Windows, never seen this, never done this, this is a bridge too far. Another project that I've just seen online, and what did I see? A book, I don't know what it was again, but Linux from scratch is something that you can also do, right? Linux from scratch is the main book, the base from which and then beyond Linux from scratch, and so on and so on. So this is another project where you more or less, I'm not really sure because never ventured this way, but what I've seen and read means this is it. You follow also steps. So we want to skip all those steps. And the steps, we've explained them. ArcoLinuxD.com. We've done the steps. If you want to do the steps, here are the steps. Old computer, new computer, then to phase 2, to 3, to 4. And then you have yourself an ArcoLinux system. With Mate or with Plasma or with Cinnamon, you choose. Or you can step all these. Let's take one quick look at the code here. So you have to set up the keyboard, and then you have to type the code, and then you have to set up, well, skip this thing. So the blue things are the important things. Set up the time, and then later on you're gonna partition everything. That's maybe the most difficult thing. Probably partition anything, and then how should I partition is the most common question, right? Keep it simple and stupid, guys. Don't mess things up and making it more difficult than it should be. So make the file system ext4, and so on, and so on, and so on. So it's a lot of black screen, typing, commands, reading, here, other tutorials. I do believe I've made links, because it pays to have a look at others. How will we proceed with the installation of Arch? Get over the fact of ArchWiki. Read it. I've learned things that I thought, oh my god, I should have read it, right? Read it. Going over the help reading. Downloading the ISO. And I believe in here somewhere were also the sources. Which sources did I use to find out information? So yeah. Ostechnics, TechMint, websites, put a few websites next to each other and synthesize. Make your own document, write down what you like, what steps you would like to take, and then have your own system. Or, and that's the thing, right? Or you use an installer, Calamares. Calamares is used with so many things. I'm gonna finish the sentence and then we're gonna have a look. Calamares is used with Calamares distributions. What is that about Calamares? Calamares, an independent installer framework, GitHub. Somewhere you'll find on the website who's actually using it, who develops, who ships, voila. Who ships Calamares, Ames Desktop, Archcraft, Archman, ArcoLinux, Argent, Linux, Athena, OS, and it goes on and on and on. Ubuntu works with it, KOS, KDE. So many people, well, use the code, and Xero Linux is here as a spin-off from ArcoLinux / ALCI. So yes, with all the knowledge that we provide in here, and we scroll down, and you see it's around 38 tutorials, some spin-offs in the sense of this kernel or that kernel. Well, that makes 5 or 6 videos already, articles as well. So this is everything you need to know how to create your own distro, plus combine it with this information, and then I'm gonna test it out, and combine it with ArcoLinux ISO.com, because here it says let's make our own customized ArcoLinux ISO. And you see from day one, and that's maybe 2 or 3 years ago already, from day one you see 2019, 3 years ago, we started making videos and build up from scratch, from nothing, from a black screen, and made our first ISO with Arch ISO, right? And this is binge watching. Watch what happened to Carly, and today we're at Carly 11, and you can build Carly 11. You can never build the other guys because this is 2 years back. The code does not, the packages does not exist anymore. It's gone. This is binge watching. What steps, what tips, what tricks, what tutorials, what applications, why we do things, and how we do it. And this is, in the end, you can actually build and have this kind of look summarizing. All right, testing. ISO is out. How big is it? 1.5. Yeah, you saw the packages. It was nothing. There is literally nothing in there. There's no Firefox in there. There's nothing in there. So hardened. Choose a disk file. Eric finds the hardened out in here. Upload. Well, click, and of course the second screen. I go here, and we're off actually. It's loading already, but I don't think. Yep. So this is the previous installation. So this is how it looks with the old ISO if you download it. Now to tell to VirtualBox a boot up with UEFI firmware settings, VirtualBox boot manager, second line, UEFI VirtualBox. This is the ISO. That's the one I've built. The other one was the SSD itself. So now we're booting off with the ISO. And now we can play with this Wayland. See if it works. Now by default, on ArcoLinux anyway, we go into an X11 session. And that has to do with how I have created the code in Calamares. Okay, so this is good. We're setting up, everything is starting. All right, next. And then you're gonna stage it up. Next, Belgian. What did I do? Yeah, okay, Brussels. And then Belgian. Next, erase disk. Fine. Next. Voila. And next. Now I see we've started adding a question. Do you want to really install everything? That's possible, and that's inside Calamares. So if that's your thing, then you go to Super Shift Enter. You go to the Calamares settings. This is hardened. Calamares etc. Calamares settings conf. I think so. Plain text. Forget about it. Put it in Perl. Everything that's colored will be red, and all the rest is gibberish. And it says somewhere down here Let's see if it's here. Here, prompt install. If this is set to true, save, Calamares will show an "Are you sure?" and it will overwrite everything. If you say yes, go for it. Before each execution phase, it tests at points of no return. If this is set to false, no prompt is shown. That's the one, that's what we see now. So just a reminder, a little bit of Calamares code. You need to read all this. Calamares provides it, github.com/calamares/calamares. Read everything you get. By the way, do that, put it in your documents or somewhere, and you say git clone https github.com/calamares. I really mean twice Calamares. This is what you need to read everything of it. Certainly readmes and certainly configuration files. Contribution, readme, voila. And Calamares desktop, interesting. The changes are interesting. Settings is interesting. And then you go to the source and to the branding. You want to have some kind of look. And Calamares and the modules are important. What module should I choose? It's not, it's a choice. You can choose different things. You can go to the keyboard Q, so QML. We've shown that in ArcoLinux ISO.com in Carly. So we tried the Q version and then went back to the old version. It is, as usual in Linux, a choice. All right, he's finished, but I'd like to have this in full screen. Done, and then we're off to see the Wizard of Oz. No, we're off to see Plasma. No beautiful grub, the standard ArcoLinux grub. We're logged in. Question is, into what? Voila, just a quick look to show you all applications. Maybe like this is easier. Voila, no internet. This is Plasma, no multimedia, settings, system, discovery is here, and the package that it needs. Dolphin is here, Console, system monitor, Yakowake. I do like Yakowake, it's the drop down. At some point in time where I started using F12, and voila, I would really miss, the distro is broken for me if F12 doesn't do anything. So voila, it's just all about choices. And then we log out then. Where's logout? Here you are. And there should be a Wayland session now. Because of one package more, we should have something. Here he is, Plasma Wayland. So depending on the theme that they give you, that you choose, it's either up here, up there, sometimes it's in the middle, sometimes you need to actually click. I believe that's GDM, and then you see only the choice between desktops. So here it is, down here in this particular look, but it's somewhere. Voila, and now we have Wayland and Arch on the same machine. It will work or not work depending on the hardware. The guys and Wayland, I don't know if we can find some kind of yeah, I do believe I know where I can find some texts. So it's always about finding information. So how to search for this particular image, info, ArcoLinux Wayland would be a very good beginning, but I don't know if I've seen it here or somewhere else. So display protocol is aimed and so on. There was somewhere a warning, guys of Nvidia, it's gonna be not that easy sometimes. There is the word already, Nvidia. So I guess it's not here that I read it, but somewhere said, guys, watch out. It's not really compatible with Nvidia. But if you have a machine without an Nvidia GPU, give it a try. Doesn't feel better or worse, but it will complicate your life, Wayland, because not all applications are ready to work on Wayland yet. You see here some information to enable Wayland support in Qt5. You need that, you need that. So it gets always more and more complex to make things work. That's my feeling. I get it. But okay, if that's okay for you, then you need to add some more information, or more packages. But I just wanted to test this and, of course, put this online. So that's it for me. I think we can close this. The ISO will go on here somewhere. I'll put it on here, the hardened ISO, and I'll just build all the others in one go. And that will be that. All right, this is scary. All right, cheers.